So this is a lesson for the chord accompaniment section of my classical guitar method book. That's a free classical guitar method book. You can just follow the link in the description and get the PDF for free. So after the progressive classical guitar method, there's a chord accompaniment section. And we've already covered the first few easy chords using just simple kind of easy beginner chords, so your first chords. And now we're on to full chord shapes. So today we're going to be looking at Tom Dooley, Danny Boy, Shenandoah, and Scarborough Fair using full chord shapes. So the first thing we'll do is let's just learn the chord shapes that we're going to need to know. And then we'll be going through the pieces. I'll give you some practice suggestions, and then we'll do a split screen and do a play along of the piece so that you can play along as if I was in the room with you. So we have a couple of chords, about 4 chords to go over here to begin with, and some other ones will come up later. We have a G chord. So that's second finger on G, first finger on B, and third finger on G. This is a popular way to finger the chord for chord strumming. Another way to finger the chord, and this will be very useful in classical guitar pieces, is using your third finger, second finger, fourth finger. When you progress to my Volume 2 method book, you'll have to learn the 3-2-4 G shape. But for now, by all means, just for these chord strumming songs, use 2, 1, and 3. It's a little bit more comfortable for the reach. And sometimes in pop music, the requirements of the playing are not so intense, when you're just doing a basic chord song, that you can't just use strong fingers and jump them around. You don't have to be quite as efficient as in classical guitar pieces. So that's the G chord, and you can practice both chords or just choose whichever one is comfortable for now. The C chord, you already learned this easy C chord, but now we're going to add the third finger on C and the second finger on E and the first finger on this C. And we'll strum 5 strings for your C chord. You already learned D, first finger, third finger, second finger. So you already knew that from the previous chord songs. Make sure you've studied those. And E minor. So we're going to put our second finger on B and our third finger on E. So just a couple of tips before we begin. Your primary role as chord accompanist is going to be keeping the rhythm and the beat very, very solid and switching the chords at the right times, because the singer, or whether that's you or someone else, they're relying on you to hold down the rhythm and to switch the chords at the right time so it all works out. Now, when you're practicing alone, you can just count out loud and play and go as slow as you need to go in order to switch the chords in time. I can't emphasize that enough. Go as slow as you need to go in order to keep the rhythm and the beat all in time and proper. When you're actually playing with someone, you can make some compromises if you need to. This is not so much for the practice room, but for performances. If you have a chord change, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't think you're going to make that chord change, you can always leave out the strum on a certain beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe having a little bit of extra time without a strum will allow you to change the chord in time. You can even lift your fingers off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Just to make sure that you land on the next chord on the beat. So feel free to try that out when you're playing along with the split screen. So the first song, Tom Dooley, this just requires a C chord and a G chord. It's a nice short song. You only have to change chords twice and then you're set to go. We are going to strum just 4 beats per bar. So when you're doing this, when you're practicing it on your own in the practice room, I recommend just counting and strumming. So like you can count yourself in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, If you want, when you end pieces, you can do the full last bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do one kind of final strum if you want it to feel a little bit more final in that way. That's a common thing to do. It doesn't always match with the notation, but you can do that. As you notice, like if it doesn't list a new chord, you just continue strumming whatever chord you were previously strumming. So let's do the split screen now. I'll count you in 1 bar for nothing, and then you'll hear both the chord strumming and you'll hear the melody. So make sure that when I'm counting you in, that you start feeling the beat so that you'll be able to keep your spot as we go. Get ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Next piece. Danny Boy. So in this piece, if you see a bar that has 2 chords in it, then each chord will get 2 strums. You can see it's kind of placed in the middle of the bar, so if there's 2 chords in there, you can imagine that it would be 2 strums for each, especially if the second chord is located in the middle of the bar. If it was located near the 4th beat of the bar, you'd probably suspect that it'd be on the 4th beat. But in this particular case, I'll just tell you, if the chord switches in the middle of the bar, it's on the 3rd beat there. So there's a pickup bar in this. So what you're going to hear is I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and then you start strumming on that 4th note that you hear. So you'll hear, and then you start strumming. So I'll do an example. 1, 2, 3, strum. So when I hit da da da, strum, that's when you'll begin. And you'll see that you can just watch the split screen video first if you're confused about that. So get ready. 1, 2, 3. Next song, Shenandoah. So in this piece, we have a small pickup, and the pickup is just 1 beat. So you'll be hearing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you want to start on that 1 after the pickup. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, strum. Because I'll be playing on the 4th beat, I won't count the 4th beat, but you just have to be counting along in your head. So in this piece, we can try a different strum pattern. If you want to strum 4 beats per bar, that works very well. But how about for this one, we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. Or 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. You can try out any pattern you want. You can do all sorts of things. Just I would recommend that the downstrokes be on all the beats, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and on any ands, you do upstrokes. So you can experiment with that or just follow what I just demonstrated. So in this piece, when you have 2 chords in one bar, you can either just strum 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can continue our pattern 1, 2, and 3, 4. But you'll notice that playing the 8th notes will make it a little harder to change the chord. You have to be pretty quick in the left hand. So feel free in those bars to just do 1, 2, 3, 4 and not worry about the extra 8th note strums. Whatever you feel comfortable with, it might take some time, but remember your main goal is to make sure that the rhythm is correct and that you're changing on the right beat. Even if you miss a strum or something, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and you elongate and don't strum on a beat, as long as you're switching at the right time, you're on the right track. That's what your singer needs. You need to be changing the chords at the correct time, and that's your primary goal. Okay, so there's a pickup on the 4th beat, so just be ready for that. Get ready. 1, 2, 3. Next song. Scarborough Fair. For this song, we need 4 chords. We're going to have an A minor chord, so we need our 2nd finger on E, our 3rd finger on A, and our 1st finger on C, and you'll be strumming 5 strings. So A minor, the E minor chord, the G chord, and the D chord. We'll be learning this song again in fingerstyle way, but for now we're just doing the chord strumming. So there's 3 beats per bar, and we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. Or down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. There's no pickup, so I'll just count 1, 2, 3, and then we'll begin. So get ready. 1, 2, 3.